Oh my God, no. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, that's bad. I know a lot of people are using Zoom for maybe the first time ever, but please, please don't ever do that. Don't ever use the bathroom on camera in front of all your coworkers, because that's embarrassing for you and for them. That sucks. Don't ever do that, please. Here's some tips to make sure that you never, ever do anything that bad ever on Zoom, ever. Okay, tip number 1. Make sure that in the bottom left corner of your screen, where there is a button for the microphone and a button for your camera, make sure that there is a red line right through each of those buttons, making sure that they are muted and your video is turned off. Keep them off. Obviously, when you're in a meeting and you need to have them on, you can turn them back on, but as a general habit, go ahead and turn them off. In fact, in your settings, you can actually go in and ensure that whenever you go into a meeting, both your microphone and your camera is automatically off, so it never turns on without you manually pressing those buttons. Do not take your computer with you to the bathroom by any means necessary during a meeting, and especially make sure to turn everything off. Tip number 2, go ahead and make sure that your camera on your computer is always covered when you are not using it, okay? That can be a piece of tape, could be whatever you want it to be, just something that you can easily put on and put off and blocks people from viewing out of your camera when you do not want them to. Tip number 3, whenever you're in a meeting and maybe the speaker is being super boring, make sure that, if you're gonna have any sort of private chats, that you're not doing it in Zoom. There's 2 reasons for this. First off, you might forget to actually keep that chat private, and you might accidentally go ahead and message everyone how stupid and boring the speaker is, and that includes the speaker themselves. The second thing is that those chats, they're not private. They're not really private, because even if they're private during the meeting, as soon as it's over, guess who gets a log of all of the chats, your private ones included? The speaker. Tip number 4. Some people like to use the attention tracking feature in Zoom. What that is that if your active screen is not Zoom, as in you've clicked onto something else, you are not paying attention, and there's a little icon that'll say it to the speaker. So if the person that is leading your meeting actually really cares about this, make sure to just keep that window that Zoom is on active. If you want, you can actually have something up on a different screen, just don't click on it. Just keep the Zoom window active. And also, if you are leading a meeting, don't care about that, right? Because who cares? As long as it's up and they're somewhat paying attention. And if you're not being engaging, it's your fault. Tip number 5, and this goes for anyone who's actually leading a meeting, especially in something like Zoom, where your link is static, right? So you have a Zoom room, right? It's kind of like a meeting room. And what happens is that if you send that link to 10 different people to have 10 different meetings, and you meet with one person in that room, and then maybe the next day you're meeting with someone else, well, that first person, if they accidentally go back to that link, which happens like every day, that person will now join your second meeting. They'll come in with the other person. Don't use the same link, or at the very, very least, make sure to go into the participants and lock the meeting as soon as you get into it, so that you and the participant are the only ones that can be in it. Tip number 6, make sure to mute participants as soon as they come into your meetings. So maybe you're really good about muting your microphone and turning off your video, but most people aren't. So to go ahead and make sure that they're not going to go sharing things that they shouldn't be sharing, go ahead and lock off their microphone whenever they come into a meeting. Okay, tip number 7, if you are going to be sharing your screen, make sure to go ahead and hide any, unsightly things. I don't want to say anything specific, but any pictures or videos that you may not want all of your coworkers to see. Tip number 8, I'm going to recommend something for you here. It's called incognito. For no particular reason, if you need, to search something that you don't want other people to know that you're searching, or if you're going to a website that maybe you don't really want all your coworkers to know that you've gone to, go ahead and open up your browser in incognito. It is a feature of Chrome and lots of other different types of browsers. It allows you to search things so that it doesn't pop up in your history. Tip number 9, make sure that your background, your room, make sure that there's nothing, that you wouldn't want your coworkers to see if you're going to have your camera on. So make sure that everything is away, or even better, go ahead and do all of your video calls from some separate room, like an office. And finally, tip number 10. If you're gonna let people remote control your computer, make sure that you trust them and that also you never ever walk away from your computer. Because if somebody is controlling your computer remotely, it means that they can do anything. They have access to every account that your computer is logged into. Make sure that you trust them and that you're watching what they're doing and that you are able to shut it off as soon as you notice anything that doesn't seem right. Okay, those are 10 really important tips to make sure that you don't go peeing while you're on video with all your coworkers or doing worse things potentially. Make sure that you heed these warnings as well as just pay attention when you're going to be going on to video. Well, if you are dealing with these things and this was helpful to you, please let me know in the comments below. If this was helpful to you, go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button to let me know that you'd like to see more content like this. And well, thank you so very much for watching this video and have a wonderful day.